So, shalom everyone again. This week I do have a story, so we could start with the story. We might have said this story before, but it's one of my favorites. Gemara Masachet Shabbat. There's a portion of the Gemara that talks about how a lot of the Chachamim, the great Chachamim that you always read about in the Talmud, each one on Friday before Shabbat, they would do things for the kavod of Shabbat. Like one of the Chachamim would chop wood, another one of the Chachamim would carry wood. These are things that they even had the servants, but they wanted to do it themselves. It says over there, one of the Chachamim came in and he saw they made 13 different dishes. He says, "Wow, you did all that for me?" He says, "Are you kidding me? I have the king here. I have the Shabbat here. We did it for Shabbat. Even if you wouldn't be here, we would have done this." So it was like the whole page is talking about it. Then the Gemara brings the famous story of Yosef Mokir Shabbat. Avram Fried has a song on it, by the way. It's a beautiful song. And so it says over there, the story is brought down. Masachet Shabbat Daf Kuf Yutet, 119. So over there, they bring it that Yosef Mokir Shabbat seems he wasn't very wealthy. He didn't really have that much, but when he would come to Shabbat, he would spend everything for Shabbat. Bring gifts, and his whole house would be glowing. He had a neighbor who was a goy, who was a rasha, and it was very evil. Everyone left him, his wife, his kids. He had nothing, but he was very, very, very wealthy. That's what it says in the Gemara. And his one day he was sick, and one of these stargazers came to see him, and told him, "You're sick, and you're gonna die, and the Jew next door is gonna get all your wealth." And he said, "No, we aren't going to let him do that." He sold everything he had, and he put it seems, as an ornament on his hat or something. Or some say he hid it inside his hat, huge diamond. And one day he was walking, and the wind blew his hat into the water. He jumped after it to get it, but big fish comes and swallows up the hat. A couple of days later, the fishermen cashed this fish late on Friday afternoon. They said, "Who's going to buy this fish this time of day?" They said, "Go to Yosef Mokir Shabbat, tell him it's for Shabbat, he'll buy anything for Shabbat." And sure enough, they went to his house. They said, "Listen, we got this fish." He says, "Come on, bring it in." He pays them whatever, and as he's cutting it open, beautiful story, and he becomes, they say, I think the Gemara over there says, it might be an exaggeration, 13 floors filled with golden coins he was able to get from it. And he lived happily ever after. But no, there's a beautiful thing that everybody misses, part of the story, is Zaken comes to him, an elderly person comes to him and goes, the one who borrows for Shabbat, Hashem Shabbat pays him back even more, right? That's it. We might not get not everyone might get the reward in this world, but definitely the more we respect and honor Shabbat, and we do things to beautify your Shabbat, the better. That's Hashem. That's the beauty of Shabbat. Good. As a continuation, I forgot this part. One of the Chachamim goes to the city, and he gets there and he sees so much wealth, so much beauty and everything. He says, "How did you get to this?" He said, "I was a butcher." And every day I would find an animal. I said, "Oh, this is great for Shabbat." And then I would see another one and say, No, this is better. So always I pick the best one for Shabbat. So that's what the pasuk says. La Hashem ha'aretz umloa. Everything belongs to Hashem, right? But then once you bring it to the table, we say Hashemayim shamayim la Hashem v'ha'aretz natan ibn Adam. The earth is ours. So the Chacham tells him, this. In the zechut of this is how you were able to achieve everything that you have for the zechut of Shabbat. So that's all in that same page in the Gemara. It's a beautiful piece of the Talmud. Okay, continuing on with the Choleh she Yesh sakana. So we're starting at the top. Be'ezrat Hashem, none of us should ever come to this. Or have to make use of these halachot, but it's a very good thing to know. I'm hoping to be able to finish with the Choleh and sakana, and Be'ezrat Hashem next week we should be able to talk about birth and the halachot. Okay. Maran writes in Siman Shin Kaf Chet, right, 328, he says, one whose teeth are hurting. Okay? I know last week we talked about teeth, the last thing, now we're going to continue with that. Whose teeth are hurting, he should not put vinegar in his mouth and gargle it and spit it out. Okay? It seems it had some sort of a soothing effect, or it would kill the bacteria, or I don't know what it would do. It would kill a lot of other things too, but so that's what they would do. Aval megameya uboleya, he could put it in his mouth and swallow it, right? Or he could, as we know, vinegar was one of the things that it would make dips, like and dip, let's say, bread or whatever in it, and he could do that as normal. And offhandedly, if that would help his tooth, okay, so be it. So Rabbi writes, the same halacha goes with alcoholic beverages. Like, people put it in the mouth, they want to go, like, whatever they do, the swirling around their mouth and everything. Says that they can't do, right? You could just drink a little bit, like, a shot, and then swallow it. But to put it in the mouth and to spit it out, this, because it looks like he's doing it for refuah, that is not, that a person shouldn't do. So this obviously is not talking about Choleh she'en bo sakana. I don't actually Yesh bo sakana. I don't even know why we brought it, but I guess it's a continuation for the tooth, so we said it. Now, chas v'shalom, a Choleh, a sick person that is not feeling well at all, and he has fever of 40 degrees Celsius, which is equal to, you take, what's the formula? Celsius is, I think, times 5 over 9. Or, no, the other way, 9 over 5. So let's say 40 times 9, that's 360, divided by 5, plus 32, that'll give us 104. Okay? That's how it works. Right? Take 360 divided by 5. That'll be 70... What? So, thank you. So anyhow, that's plus 32, that'll give us 104. So someone chas v'shalom has 104 degrees fever or higher, and they try to lower the fever, and with whatever medication, like Tylenol, Motrin, whatever it is, and it still has the fever, and we have no idea why the person has fever. One is allowed to get in the car, call the ambulance, or get in the car and take him to the hospital to be checked out. Okay, but if we know, he has a cold or whatever it is, like, the things that one would get fever from, then we have no allowance to take this person to be mechaleh Shabbat for him ourselves. He's considered a Choleh she'en bo sakana, right? But just the fever with no reason, high fever, if the fever does go down, then he is not in the category of Choleh she'yesh bo sakana. Otherwise, there's obviously something going on here which is dangerous, chas v'shalom, and he should be taken care of. What about a bath? Like a cold bath to lower the thing?
Like a lukewarm, lukewarm.
You mean to say, open the thing to try to? That's a good question. Being that this person, I think the safest thing is to take the person to the hospital. These days, that would be the safest thing. Like, they tried medicine that is known to lower the fever, and it didn't work. Then, well, I don't know if the bath would help. I think calling 911 in this case would be the right thing. Okay. I mean, you might want to consider Choleh she'en bo sakana and tell a goy. That's something else, to tell a goy to do that. But then why? Chas v'shalom, if it's 104 degrees, you're not going to wait around. Now, a Choleh that we're not sure. Maybe there's a sakana, maybe there's no sakana. We're not sure, right? Maybe there's a danger or not. One is allowed to call making a phone call to the doctor, that the doctor should come to them or to take the person into a car to the doctor. Even if you're not sure if the doctor is at home. But still, from safek, even though it's a safek, we're not sure, we could go ahead and be mekel and to take him, to go in the car, start the car, and go, right? Because he's a safek, Choleh Yesh sakana, and in that case, a person should be able to do that, should do that. Not just should be able to do that, he should do that, as we said last week.
If there's a safek, if they are a sakana,
Right.
or not sakana?
There's a safek, maybe this is a sakana, maybe this is not sakana, right? So in that case, we say that a person should go ahead and do that. And definitely, Rabbi says to call an ambulance is better than calling a cab, because certainly there's more immediate help in that case rather than a cab. What are they gonna do?
Are you allowed to call it Choleh?
Yes.
Like, is it more preferable to call 911 because you're not making another Jew do?
No, that's we said. You remember what we said? We said by case of a sakana, it is better to have a Jew, adult Jew, do the melacha, do anything, rather than a goy, or you want a Jew to do it because few reasons. One reason was so that next time, chas v'shalom, something happens and there is no goy, there's nobody, they're gonna say, oh, we can't do anything. Oh yeah, last time I remember we looked for a goy, or we asked the kid to do it. So therefore, it says Gadol, Israel Gadol should do it, and not to wait around. Now, the person himself, right? The person who is sick, he definitely could, if he could definitely hop in the car and go to an expert doctor, right? Even if this expert doctor lives farther than a regular doctor, right? Definitely he could do that. But if the doctor that lives farther, this guy, and he's going to charge you much less, right? That is not enough reason to drive. Say, might as well. I'm driving anyway, so I might as well go there. No, that's not going to work. Monetary the things aren't going to be a good reason to be able to be mechalel Shabbat more, to drive farther. We do. A person should do whatever they can, but that's only for saving lives. Now, let's say someone, they told someone to go call the doctor, to bring a doctor, right? So definitely he could drive back with the doctor to make sure he knows where he's going, to make sure, he doesn't get lost, and so on and so forth. He can't say, okay, I did my job, I told the doctor, now let the doctor go himself. Why should I be Mechalel Shabbat? No, he could go back to the sick person with the doctor, or drive the doctor, whatever it is, so that he'll definitely guide him directly to where the sick person is, and so that the doctor won't get lost. If there are two doctors, he has a choice of two doctors. One is a Shomer Torah Mitzvot, the other one is secular, right? Which one should be chosen?
One who's better.
The one who's a better doctor, that's for sure, right? But let's say they're both same status. The one that's Shomer Mitzvot, of course, right? Because he's gonna know exactly what to do. He's not gonna be Mechal Shabbat, and so on and so forth. But as you said, if the other one is an expert, definitely, even if he's Mechal Shabbat, definitely, he's the one that go, and we could rely on what he says to be Mechal Shabbat for the sick person, right? And that would be the best thing to do. Now, if this person has his own doctor, his own private doctor, even if he's farther, if he is more comfortable, the Choleh Yesh sakana is more comfortable to go to his own private doctor, then definitely that's where they go. Okay, a lot of it is psychological, and the person who is very ill, the smallest thing that could help him alleviate his fears and everything, that we could do, we have to do. Now, when a person is calling for a sick person, right? So the best thing is to try to pick up the phone with a shinui, right? Not in the normal manner, with the elbow, knock it off the base with the elbow, or try with the back of the hand, or whatever it is. Better if two people could do it together, It's always like all the Yisurim of Shabbat. It says Ya'aseh otam. I think the pasuk. Right, the person who does it. So the Gemara learns it's only one person that does it. There's a chiyuv from the Torah. But if two people do it, it makes it less. It's Isur Darabanan. It's a big shinui. So if two people do it together, that's definitely better. So imagine two people would pick up the phone together at once, and I don't know how they would dial together, but to figure something, if they could do this. But this is all and all and all. If there is not going to be any delay, we might be talking about a couple of seconds. For this person. So every second counts. So if these things, let's say he knocks it out with his elbow, then boom, he folds and it starts rolling down the hole, you're going to chase after the phone, it's not kedai. We didn't do anything. All right. So that's that. Once the conversation with the doctor is over, one is allowed to put the phone back in its cradle, right? Because if let's say the doctor needs to call, or if someone needs to call, you need to call again, they would be able to do that. Or if someone is calling the home, to direct the doctor, whatever it is, we are allowed to do it. Again, if a person could do it either b'shinui or two people together, that would be preferable. Okay? Now, Choleh sheyesh bo sakana, and the doctor is there, he's taking care of him. The doctor is allowed to get paid for his service. Right? We don't say that, it's asur, it's Shabbat, you're making money on Shabbat, because Chachamim only made it asur in a davar reshut, in a case of you just want to make money. Here it is a mitzvah, you're saving someone's life, and for this Chachamim never made it asur b'mkom mitzvah, in a place of mitzvah, that the person to say that the person should not charge, right? In this case, the doctor could, after Shabbat, of course, come to them and say, give me money, right? There was a case, Poskim bring down, I guess it happens from time to time, that the doctor came and says, I won't do anything until you give me a check. It happens, I guess they got burnt too many times. It's Shabbat, we can't touch money. The doctor goes and go find them. So he's learned his lesson. He says, I won't do anything until you write me a check. Of course they could write him a check, there's no question. It's Choleh Yesh sakana. Now,
I didn't know the doctor.
well, no time today, but now, a doctor who is a Yeresh Shamayim, who's God-fearing and everything, and he has to write a prescription, okay, for medicine, for Choleh Yesh sakana. We say, if you could write it with your left hand, it'll just take just as much time. He'll be able to. Anyway, you can't read the doctor's handwritings, so let him write with his left hand. And because it's a shinur, so he's patur. So whatever we could do, right? Whatever we could do. So the rule is like this: anything that is not a direct counteracting with the sick person, right? Then the doctor should try to do it with a shinui. Like writing the prescription, that's not a direct thing that he has to work with the patient, right?
What constitutes a shinui?
A shinui, left hand is already a shinui.
What if you write like this?
Yeah, that would be a shinui, for sure. There's a Mishnah in Masechet Shabbat, it tells us, a person carries a pen, or not a pen, a spoon, carries a spoon on his head, behind his ear, by his elbow, or different things that a person does. All these things are shinuyim. Anything that's out of the norm, that's a shinui. I'm not sure I have ever seen people hold a pen like this, except for there was a presidential candidate, Dole, his name was. He was running against Reagan. That's how one of his hands was paralyzed. He always had a pen like this in his hand. You don't see, it's not done. So once that's not the norm, that's shinui.
That was pens though. After 24 hours they made them for doctors.
Oh yeah, for Shabbat.
Yeah, those same people.
It just goes away, right? Right. Yes, I've seen that. That's much better. because it's not near Sham, it doesn't stay. That's much better. You know what they do in Israel. In Lete Sharet Tzedek Hospital, on Shabbat, you have a non-Jewish nurse walking behind every doctor. And the doctor just talks, and she writes. She writes everything, the doctor doesn't do anything. It's very interesting just to watch. They have, over there, they have everything set up in Sharet Tzedek Hospital and in Bikur Cholim Hospital. Both of these hospitals, we had the zechut to be in both. They have everything, set up for Shabbat. Hadassah is not like that. Not at all, by far. But these other two, Sharet Tzedek and of course Laniero Hospital and hospitals in Bnei Brak and everything, yeah, they have everything set up for Shabbat. It's very interesting just to watch. You should only go for good things, for birth. But look, a doctor does get stuck sometimes. He might have to write a prescription. So whatever he has to deal with this Choleh Yesh sakana, he has to do. He can't play games. He can't do Beshinui. What's he going to do? Beshinui. But this, if he could do Beshinui, he should do it. Okay? Now, a doctor could himself get in the car and drive to take care of a Choleh Yesh sakana. However, he can't come back. Okay, once he drives there to the sick person, now we can't allow him to sit in the car, drive the car, and come back. Okay? Hatzalah is different. Hatzalah, because they know they might get a call, so there is an allowance. There's a little bit difference. And there's a big machloket on that, by the way. So let's get to this. This guy goes, I want to go back home. We tell him you can't do it, right? Choleh she'en bo sakana, the doctor cannot get into his car and drive. But a goy could drive him. Choleh she'en bo sakana comes down a level. He can't do it, but a goy could do the malacha. Right? So he could tell the goy, Mustafa, hop in the car, we gotta go. And he takes him there and whatever. And then after he's done, so some say he's allowed to get Mustafa to drive him back. Some say no, there's a machloket. Now, there is a concept, it's called hitiru sofan mishum techilatan. Right? Hitiru sofan mishum techilatan, that means they made an allowance, right, for the end because of the beginning. Meaning like this, if you tell this guy, he's a Choleh she'en bo sakana, and you tell the goy to drive you there, but if he knows that later he can't tell the goy to drive him back home, he's not going to do it. He's not even going to go, next time. He says, well, I'm going to get stuck there in the middle of nowhere. I'm not going to go. He's a Choleh she'en bo sakana anyway, and he's not going to do it. Where he should, come on, the guy is Choleh. But the doctor won't go. Right? The doctor will not go.
But for someone who there is sakana, he can go and come back?
For a Choleh she'yesh bo sakana, he can't come back.
So for either case.
Rav Moshe Feinstein allows it. Rav Moshe Feinstein says, if the doctor went, right, for a Choleh she'yesh bo sakana, drove there, he could come back. Because of this. Hitiru sofa mishum techilatan. Because next time he won't do it. But Rav Ovadia says no. It's not allowed. Because first of all, by Choleh she'yesh bo sakana, we say that for sure he's going to go next time. What's the question? He's not going to say, oh, you know what, last time I went there, I got stuck the whole Shabbat, I couldn't come back. This time I'm not going to go. Choleh she'yesh bo sakana, are you kidding me? Who's not going to go? Definitely is going to go. We're not worried about that. And the only time that we made this allowance of hitiru sofan, the end, that means to come back, they allowed mishum techilatan, for the beginning, that means the next time he should do it, that's only by Isur Darabanan. Like a goy driving him. Isur Darabanan is less of an Isur. Whereas here, he has to drive, that's a Melacha Deoraita, that's a Torah, Melacha from the Torah. This, they never made that allowance. So Ravaji brings a lot of poskim. He said, no, cannot come back. Stay there for the rest of Shabbat. So I'm wondering what would be the halacha by Hatzalah. I don't know. It's not my thing to say. I'm not sure.
Are you allowed to call a doctor if it's not sakana?
Remember, we said for safek sakana even we could call. Right? Even if we're not sure, this might be a sakana, this might not be a sakana, then we could call. But if it's not, definitely it's not a sakana. The person is not feeling well, but it's not like a chas v'shalom that it's in danger. Then no.
So that's the instance that you were talking about. If the doctor's called, it might be a sakana.
Choleh, no. If it was called for a choleh she'en bo sakana, he knows for sure there is no sakana. In that case, he tells the goy, drive me. Right? Then there's a question if you could ask the goy to drive him back or not.
But it was wrong of the person to call him if he knew it wasn't sakana, right?
Maybe a goy called him. Right? For a choleh she'en bo sakana, a goy could call. Right? So maybe that was the case, and he was okay to to get into a cab, like a non-Jewish cab, and go. The question becomes, can he come back or not? By choleh she'en bo sakana, we say maybe the goy could drive him back. But by choleh sheyesh bo sakana, that the doctor went, then in that case we say that the doctor, once he's done, he takes care of him. Now he cannot go back. Now, what if he finds a non-Jewish driver? Tells him, listen, take me back. He finds a Mustafa there, and he says, take me back. In that case, that would be a good question. Can he have him drive him back to be over an Isur Derabanan? I don't think Ravadi will allow that either. I don't think so. The scenario was like this. There was a Choleh sheyesh bo sakana. They called the doctor and said, come, he's in grave danger. Doctor hops in his car, goes there, takes care of the situation. Now he wants to come back home. He can't. Can he get an Uber? Can he get a cab, goy driver, to take him back home? No. Right. Because that still is doing the Melachah D'Rabbanan. And it's a shevut, no, I don't think there is allowance for that. No, what we said was that he himself can't get back in his car and go back home. That we said he can't do, right? But how about to tell a goy to drive him back home? I don't think that was allowed either. Okay, but that's a very that's a big machloket. Moshe Feinstein allows that.
What if he needs to be home in case somebody else needs to contact him first? Because I'm thinking maybe that's why Hatzalah is allowed to drive back.
That is the heter of Hatzalah, yes. But by doctor, usually doctors are on emergency call. If there's an emergency, they will be called to the hospital, right? And that's different. That's already a whole different situation. By Hatzalah, the chances are that they will be called, and that is the whole heter why they could drive back home to their base. But with the doctor, I'm not sure. I mean, nowadays they have cell phones, and they leave their cell phones on, doctors are on call 24/7, so they could really catch them anywhere. If there's an emergency, they'll catch him. He'll hop in his car and go there. He'll be all over the place by the end of Shabbat. Okay.
Do you already think that what constitutes sakana?
Yeah, that was the shiur last week. So basically, sakana means that chas v'shalom he could die, right? Or maybe he could die. Or we said sakanat ever. Sakanat ever. There was a machloket. We said according to the Shulchan Aruch, sakanat ever, losing a limb, doesn't constitute sakana, choleh sakana. However, we said nowadays because they say that the person could. Nowadays, doctors say that because the person could get through an infection. Chas v'shalom, it could lead to become a sakana nefashot, that person could die, God forbid, then even a sakanat ever, we would be mekel and be mechal Shabbat for.
What is that?
That ever means a limb. A person's chas v'shalom finger got cut off, or could get cut off, or something like that, ever.
An infection.
It could cause an infection. Right, an infection could cause the sakana. That could cause the sakana nefashot, or might cause sakana nefashot. That's what we're talking about. We said
An ear infection. Would that count?
ear infection. It's not a sakana that a person could lose their ear or hearing, is it? Is it? Not really, unless it's very severe. Eye, we said for sure. Remember last week we said an eye, for sure, is quite dangerous. Check it out. Check out the video.
Like a lot of pain,
No, just a lot of pain.
like a urinary tract infection.
So now that's not even choleh. I'm not even sure if that's a choleh she'en bo sakana, right? Because what that's
What if it's bad? I mean, it just gets worse and infections, they just get worse and worse. You know?
right, but it's not. The question is it threatening, right? Is it life threatening or not? I don't know if a urinary tract infection would be a life threatening situation. We're going to get to that. We're going down the line. It wasn't listed as one of the things that would be considered the Choleh Yesh sakana, right? Choleh sakana is less of a level, which position we'll get to. Hopefully,
But what if you
we won't
live
know.
right next to Parkway, you just walk?
Walk.
Walk to Parkway or Cedars
What's Parkway?
for urgent. The hospital, Olympia.
Oh, Olympia.
Yeah.
Okay. You mean
just walk
not
in.
to be Machaleh Shabbat?
If you wait for someone to open the door for you.
Right. So you're talking that a person is not a Choleh Yesh bo sakana. He's not a Choleh she'en bo sakana even, but he just
Like an
has.
infection, like a kid has an ear infection.
Kid is different. With kids are considered Choleh, at least Choleh she'en bo sakana, if and it might be even Choleh Yesh bo sakana. Kids are different.
Up to what age?
There's a machloket on that. Some say 9 even, 3 for sure. Some say even 9. There's different poskim. We'll get to it. We're going to talk about kids. We're going to go through it systematically. Now, if a person passed out, right? We could be Mechaleh Shabbat in order to get give him electric shock, whatever it is we could do, even if the chances are very slim to be able to save the person. We are Mechalel Shabbat in any way we can to try even to do that. Okay? Get the defibrillator, whatever it is we could do, even if the chances are slim, we do that. It is a mitzvah to be Mechalel Shabbat to prepare medicine, right? Or to bring them even through Reshut Harabim, right? For the Choleh Yesh bo sakana. Okay, they're dealing with someone who is gravely ill. Choleh Yesh bo sakana could be in life-threatening danger, and over there is a mitzvah to be Mechaleh Shabbat and to prepare the medication, to even carry it, of course, through Reshut Harabim, to bring it, even if the medicine is only to alleviate the pain. It's not going to cure the person. It's just going to lessen the pain, right? Even that, one is allowed to be Mechaleh Shabbat, right? Because poskim say to even lessen the pain by a choleh, right? That's a big deal. For that even, one could be Mechaleh Shabbat, right? The doctor could be Mechaleh Shabbat, even for things that they're not life-saving actions. Not necessarily they're going to save the person's life. All they're going to do is just going to diminish the pain, lessen the pain. The doctor is allowed to do that, right, on Shabbat. Even if it's a Chilul Shabbat, you could do it. However, if they could do it, if you could do these sort of things that are not directly life-saving through the 2 people at the same time, let's say they say this guy, he's getting depressed and everything. He's under a lot of pressure because it's too dark in the room. So 2 people together, they press the light switch. Okay, definitely they should do that. These are things that a person has to be very alert to, but that's what it is. Okay. Now, there's a Gemara in Masechet Bava Batra. Towards the end over there, it says, whoever has a sick person chas v'shalom at home, he should go to a chacham and ask for him to pray for him. Right? It's a Gemara Bava Batra Daf Kuf Tet Zayin. 116. It says you should go to a chacham and ask him to pray for him. Mukhi Yosef writes there that that's what they do in France, that whoever has a sick person, he goes to a chacham that has a yeshiva, especially that he teaches Torah, that he should bless him because the chacham is dealing with Torah all the time. His tefillah will be accepted more, right? Therefore, now on this, there's a lot of talk on this, a lot. Now, if a person is sick and he's Choleh Yesh sakana, and he asked, they ask him, like, or he asked, he says, like, could you get a beracha for me from that chacham, right? And the chacham lives very far, and they want to go ahead and send a telegraph. That the telegraph should be delivered to the chacham that he should pray for. Can they do that on Shabbat? For a Choleh Yesh bo sakana. If the Choleh asks, then it could be done. Even to Mechalel Shabbat, to send the telegraph for the chacham, like, that he should pray for him, he could do it because he might just give up on everything and die, chas v'shalom. So in that case, we say, but otherwise, oh my gosh, everyone writes about this. During the time of Rav Shlomo Kluger, there was a case where they did this. Now, this guy didn't ask for it, but they did it. There was a case where the Rav in the city, he told them to go ahead and send the telegraph for, I think it was the Belzer Rebbe of that time. And Rav Shlomo Kluger found out later. Oh boy, indeed, I think he removed the Dayan from his job. He said, what? For this? He did it? He was like, but there was a lot of back and forth on this. There's a lot. Everyone writes about this. I'm telling you. From 150 years ago to now, everyone talks about this. Back and forth, back and forth. Is one allowed to do it? Is one not allowed to do it? But everyone would agree. In a case where the Choleh is asking for it, or whatever shows a sign that he wants it, then they should do it. Because if not, it says Shema tetaref da'ato. He might just go crazy and chas v'shalom give up hope and boom, gone. So anything to do to save him. So nowadays they would translate. Nobody sends a telegram. No, fax. To send a fax to a chacham's house, and then suddenly the chacham sees, ooh, a fax coming in. Oh, this guy's sick. I should pray for him.
No one has a fax machine either.
Yeah.
So they're gonna check it though? Like they won't, even in a fax machine, from the fax machine, maybe it's in the office, he's not gonna go and see.
In the office it won't work. It probably, yeah.
Or even the phone.
Some rabbis still have faxes. What? Phone? Oh, you know what? Maybe they'll call and leave a message on the answering machine, but nowadays nobody has a home phone either. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough.
How about if you're in America and you can call in Israel, it's not Shabbat then?
That's much easier. I mean, that's halfway easier. For them it's fine, but then it's pretty awkward. But I mean, we should never know. But listen, chas v'shalom, when there's a sick person, people will do anything, just to try to save the person's life. And the Gemara brings down a lot of sad cases, where how much we have to be careful, how much one has to be careful when there's a Choleh Yesh bo sakana. We're dealing with sakana nefashot. Could be the person, this is his last breaths, and they try to save the person, whatever we can do. Right. And we said Shabbat even we're going to Mechalel for this. But
Who would be that person in LA?
it's a good question. What? The Chacham that has a yeshiva.